is going on, YouTubers? How y'all doing all tonight, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993. I am here live for my live review of last night's edition of Monday Night Raw from the September 14th, 2020 edition of Raw that took place once again at the WWE ThunderDome. I do enjoy saying that a lot more than the Performance Center, but the WWE ThunderDome in at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. We'll take a look back, of course, everything that happened as we continue to be on the road to Clash of Champions 2020, where every title must be defended. The only night of the year that it must be defended. Yeah, we'll see how all of them are defended in one night. But anyways, overall, I actually kind of enjoyed last night's episode. I gave it a solid grade. I feel like it would have been better if there was finishes that I wouldn't say killed everything, but it definitely hurt it a little bit. It's not like Extreme Rules where they had just completely mind insulting finishes that literally ticked me off, such as Eye for an Eye, the end of Sasha and Asuka's match, and several others that just had poor finishes to the end of that match. But there was still some stuff that I definitely didn't like about the show, but stuff that I thought about intriguing. This was one of those shows that not everything worked, in my opinion, but it had me intrigued, and two, it was one of the things where it's like it wasn't insulting to try, but not every single thing worked. You know what I mean? One of those shows where it's like it had its weaknesses, but I can forgive its weaknesses. It wasn't like too many things that I could say, this is horrible, why are we doing this and whatnot. Not too many of those. So I actually kind of say I thought it was a solid show. That's what I'm going to say. Solid show. So without further ado, let's get into the review. But first, let's check the live chat. I see we got Mark and Tyler in the live chat. What's up, boys? Tyler skipped Raw. Mark is shocked that the Hurt Business actually fought Retribution. I thought they were going to turn the tail and run. Thank goodness it did not, because we don't need heels that run all the time. If we have a bunch of heels who are going to, just beat the crap out of each other and be aggressive and just beat shit up, I'm all for those heels, because we need more of those. Excuse me. Let me see here. Please don't give Zelina Vega a title shot. She doesn't deserve it. We'll talk about that also coming up. Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre might actually be good. It could. I don't know what we're getting, of course, now after the results of that main event last night, but we'll get into the Limitless one later on in the show. But without further ado, guys, let's get rolling. And also, stay tuned at the end of this episode, this live review. I'm not saying I'm 100% certain it's going to happen, but I'm strongly pushing for a surprise to happen this coming Saturday. And we'll get into that, of course, right at the end. So, let's talk about the show. We opened up with the champion himself, Drew McIntyre. Well, first, we're getting introduced to tonight's commentary team: Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Dolph Ziggler. Don't know where Tom Phillips or Samoa Joe was, but they weren't there. So that was a random team we had for Raw last night. Out comes the champion, Drew McIntyre. Recap what's been going on with him and Randy Orton recently. And of course, hype it up now. Last week it was, if Drew McIntyre is not able to compete because of Orton literally breaking his jaw, then, but then McIntyre returned last week. So now it was if Orton can't compete because McIntyre kicked off Orton's jaw last week, then Orton could be out of competing at Clash of Champions. But anyways, so Drew comes out, and he says he's back, and he considers himself lucky that Orton only broke his jaw. WWE Medical personnel told him to take some time off, but he didn't want to forfeit the title. And he said no, which of course, as I'm going to say, that 30-day rule, complete bullshit. If you're going to continue to stick with that rule, again, you got to make it consistent. Again, Brock Lesnar has to defend the title every 30 days. There's been several other superstars who have gone over 30 days without defending that championship. So if they're going to keep implementing that rule, BS to them, totally. I'm sorry. That role to me is dead. Um, so they told him to take time off, but he refused to. But however, one bad strike to the jaw and would displace his fracture and leave him having to get his jaw wired shut. But that's fine because he'd rather leave in an ambulance than leave the title behind. Which I'm like brewing, like, are they teasing what I think they're thinking? He tells Randy how they've both had ambulance rides lately. So he wants their match at Clash of Champions to be an ambulance match. He created the Claymore kick But then, here's the thing. I felt this promo should have stopped right here. Implementing it as being an ambulance match. But then, this next part I thought was a little unnecessary. He basically was trying to repeat exactly what Orton did last week with that photo of, who he's all kicked their heads off. So, he says, how he created the Claymore kick by accident. It's just a blatant lie because he stole it from Mega Man style from Roderick Strong after he beat him in their Evolve feud. And he shows a picture on the Titantron of everybody he's kicked their heads. Like, again, literally the exact same thing that Randy Orton did last week. Which I thought that was a little... They didn't need to do that. I thought that was a little unnecessary, I thought. But anyways, so after that, out comes Adam Pearce, which once again, what the heck is his actual role here if he's just randomly appearing and instructing everything? Again, just bring back Raw and SmackDown general managers. Just bring them back. I don't get why we can't do that. If the whole idea is still the McMahons is run everything, BS, because it did not work. The people saying, we're not the authority, you're the authority. It's whatever you want. Liar. Anyways, so Adam Pearce came out, and he's mentioned there's a good chance, well, for sure, Randy Orton is not going to be here tonight. He may not be able to make it to Clash of Champions. That changes the gravity for tonight. Now, he was supposed to be facing Keith Lee. Drew McIntyre was supposed to be facing Keith Lee. But now, since Orton's status is in jeopardy, if Lee wins tonight and Orton's too hurt to compete, Keith will get the match. Which I'm thinking, okay, but what if Keith wins and Orton's good to go? Which, of course, we're kind of in that bubble after how the show ended. But Keith came out, shakes hands, they share a few words, but as they go to walk away, they basically hold on to the grip, basically saying, hey, we're buddies, but I ain't letting you off easy. Oh, that's for sure not letting off easy after we got later on in the show. So that raises the stakes a little bit for the main event. Which, of course, we'll get into this a little more further down the line, because there was some more promos backstage leading up to the main event tonight of Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee. And again, if Lee wins, he could get a shot at the WWE title at Clash of Champions. But that's then. Let's keep rolling with this. We have that champion versus champions match, the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits versus the Artistic Collective, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. The match was decent. I wouldn't say it really knocked my socks off, but the match was decent, and the Street Profits won. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention also, remember guys, this was in your face Raw. In your face, in your face, in your face, in your face Raw. Yeah, because that's exactly how Vince McMahon is. He's Mr. In your face. In your face. Yeah, and of course we'll get more into whatever. Alright, so we have that match again. I thought it was decent, whatever. Then we have Angel Garza backstage hanging out with Lana. They had just shown a video package having a Mickie James getting her title shot against Asuka tonight. Lana's like, oh, why is Mickie getting a title shot? It should be Natty. It's like BS. Nope. But then I guess Garza was teasing and flirting with Lana. I'm like, no. Garza, please, no. Don't do it again. If it was maybe a year or so ago before the whole stuff with her and Lashley, okay, but now ever since, don't know what the heck she became after she locked lips and got in bed with Bobby Lashley, but whatever it is, again, I freaking can't stand her now. Anyways, so Zelina Vega rolls up with Almas, and she gets on Garza for leaving Almas hanging, and Garza says he's tired of being blamed for every setback because the Golden Boy lost the match last week. And then I'm thinking again, just split these guys up, for crying out loud. They've been going back and forth for months. It's getting old. It's not a whole roller coaster ride. It's just more so like, just get this over with. Looks like they may have, because Zelina Vega basically says she can't do this anymore, walks away, and then Almas and Garza start brawling. So, like, if that's the end of it, cool, let's move on with this, because I just don't care anymore about this alliance. They've worn it out. We then have the Hurt Business come out. Let's talk about some business booming here, alright. I loved every second of what we got from the Hurt Business tonight, of course, last night. First off, they got new theme music. Not too bad, I would say. So they come out, and MVP has an official announcement. Business is booming, which is true. It really is for the Hurt Business. They're definitely one of the hottest acts on Raw. The CEO, Bobby Lashley, is firmly in possession of the U.S. title. Shelton Benjamin has upgraded from Gold Standard to Platinum Standard. And Cedric Alexander has met with his accountant, and he's an official part of the Hurt Business. And then Cedric is on the microphone. Talks about everyone on social media giving him flack for turning on his friends, but he defends himself by saying this is his job, and he'll do what it takes to succeed. Out comes Apollo Crews and Ricochet. Crews says he's going to call it like it is. Cedric turned his back on him because he's weak-minded and MVP manipulated him, and now he has to live with the consequences. They've always had his back, but Alexander's like, no, cuts him off completely and says, how many times did he catch a beating for him when he was United States champion? And then everybody gets completely silent. I'm like, damn, Alexander just shut them all up completely. Again, how good does it feel when a heel speaks truth? I mean, then again, they did have his back, but how many beatings did Alexander take for Apollo Crews whenever Apollo Crews was United States champion? Shelton says, Cedric don't own any explanations because they're jealous, but Ricochet says, mind your own business, Shelton. They understand it is what it is, and after last week, he's going to find out that getting attacked by his former friends is worse than anything the Hurt Business did to him. So we had this match with Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. Pretty good match. I definitely think they could have an even better match on pay-per-view, but I thought it was good. The ending, I gotta say, mwah! Man, did this bring me back to Alexander's days as Cruiserweight Champion on 205 Live. He hit a freaking lumbar check on Ricochet to end the match. Ricochet sold it like Rock selling a Stone Cold Stunner. He sold it just beautifully for Alexander to get the clean win. Again, I'm loving already what to do with Cedric with the Hurt Business. Yes, I keep saying I think Apollo needed it more right now. It's working for Cedric. And I tweeted to Cedric. Of course, he didn't respond to it because he's a heel. Well, he's made out too. But I said, hey, Cedric, last year at WrestleMania Access, one of the 3 wrestlers I got to meet was Cedric Alexander. I met Andrade Cien Almas, Cedric Alexander, and Jimmy Hart. And I told Cedric, he said, you deserve to be world champion, man. And he thanked me for that. He said, I appreciate that. We had a nice conversation. Very, very nice guy, of course, Cedric. But I said, you got the microphone skills of gold. You just need the opportunity. And this is your opportunity, man. Please just run with it. And I hope that's what they do with Cedric. I hope him being with the Hurt Business definitely raises the bar for him a lot higher and definitely gives him the opportunities he should deserve. The ones that they should have been capitalizing on with him a year ago when he was feuding with AJ Styles for the United States Championship. Yeah, remember that? That's literally, my opinion, a WrestleMania caliber main event match for the world title. But what did they do? Gave them a United States Championship match on the pre-show. That's right, we had Cedric Alexander versus AJ Styles for the US title on the pre-show last year for Clash of Champions. That ain't happening again. I'm just saying, that ain't happening again. So who knows? Again, maybe they'll have, because originally I predicted MVP and Shelton Benjamin to face the Street Profits for the tag titles. Maybe it'll be Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, maybe for the Raw tag titles instead. Who knows? But business is booming for the Hurt Business, as I keep saying. And the stuff with Alexander, I'm loving it. But afterwards, though, the lights went out. We get another Retribution promo, which, again, saying that if you sell your soul to a corrupt machine, you become corrupt. And they once believed their time at the Performance Center would lead to fame and fortune, but now they're gonna gut our reality. And yeah, so that was that. Obviously, by the eyes, a lot of people are saying Dijakovic is in it, which when they came out at the end in the closing segment, one of the guys, Max, like he was about to rip off. I can tell it was Dijakovic. I can also tell by the eyes, also by the backstage segment right here, with the five of them. Now, one of them had been Mia Yim. I can tell it was Mia Yim, which I'm not crazy about. I don't know. I just don't think Mia Yim fits with the whole Retribution storyline. I get it, again, they're trying to keep couples on the same brands, and of course now that her boyfriend Keith Lee's on this brand, they gotta put her on Raw as well. I don't think Mia was ready yet. I thought. I mean, yeah, she's solid, but I don't think she's that ready yet. And everyone thinks it is Mercedes Martinez. I mean, she had the match with Rhea Ripley. I think it could have been a little bit better on NXT last week, but I still think they don't need. Again, NXT right now needs to help themselves. They don't need to be calling up anybody else right now, I feel like. They really don't. I mean, yeah, I know I was saying on my review last week how there's a lot of directionless characters on NXT right now, especially, the bigger names. But still, they still need help. So I'm not sure about how I feel about, especially if one of them is Mia Yim. I'm not sure about Mia Yim being on in Retribution. I just don't think it fits. But of course, Adam Pearce is then whining and complaining about security not doing their job. Well, why? How is it every single week? Which, by the way, now I'm hearing rumors that Retribution is only Raw exclusive now. They're not going to be on SmackDown anymore, just on Raw. My thing is, Adam Pearce, why don't you figure out what your show, what your security's doing wrong, and where they're coming in from? Because it looks to me like they're just casually in there. There's nobody laid out or anything. So, like, what's really going on here? Someone, I think it was Tian Couponer, even tweeted me and said, what if Adam Pearce is behind Retribution? Maybe, who knows? But, yeah, so, again, I'm just... Until they actually unmask, I'm not going to care about Retribution anymore. I just don't. Again, we're getting the same thing every single week. Just unmask and show your faces, please. This is dragging on way too long. So, we have that. Mickie James is backstage, talking about how she's always had what it takes to be the champion, and she's ready for a shot. Then we see Adam Pearce yelling at security for letting Retribution happen again. The Hurt Business basically say, hey, let us take care of them. Which, could they handle them? We'll see later on in the show. Asuka and Mickie James had their Raw Women's Championship match. I believe this is the first time these two have gone one-on-one. I think it has been the first time they've gone one-on-one since their match at TakeOver Toronto back in 2016, right before Mickie returned. Am I right on that? I think so. This might have been the first time. I'm not sure. I don't think they've faced off one-on-one since Asuka's come to the main roster. So could be. I don't know. But I think it was a pretty good match. Mickie looked great in this match. So did Asuka. The only thing, of course, was the finish. The finish was kind of weird. It was say that Asuka won by the same finish, same call as it was for the end of Hell in a Cell last year. Match stoppage or referee stoppage, saying that Mickie James could not continue. It was weird. Mickie didn't tap out, but I am reading rumors that apparently Mickie may have popped her shoulder. That would be terrible if it happened, because Mickie literally just got back from a long-term knee injury. Just to see her get taken, put on the shelf again would really suck for sure. So I hope it wasn't as bad as it was, but that's what I'm hearing the rumors about. But afterwards, out came Zelina Vega, who now has this red makeup around her eyes. And she says she's been thinking about her future. Today it dawned on her that she's wasted the best years of her career managing those two selfish little ingrates just like Asuka. Which, no, it has not been a waste, especially your time with Andrade in NXT. And I would say up until Garza joined you guys, which, okay, for a while I'm like, cool, fine with me. But then they just overproduced it, and again, they fought every 2 seconds, Garza and Andrade. And, so no, I disagree that it was not a waste for Zelina. If they are, of course, splitting them all for sure now. She says how Asuka was handed the title by one of the greatest. Again, she was not. Again, this continuity bothers me. Asuka was not handed the title. She won the Money in the Bank ladder match. It was secretly for the Raw Women's Championship. I'm sorry. It bothers me to death when I have people saying that because it's not true. Anyways, so, she said how Asuka's been reckless with it, defending against everybody and their mother. So she's focused on the stars of yesterday that she forgot one of the best in the business. Don't even bother asking if she's ready for Asuka because she's ready for the title. And Asuka responds in Japanese until Zelina slaps her. And Mark definitely mentioned this in the live chat before. Here's my thing. I have always been open for Zelina Vega getting a singles run. I definitely believe she can do it. You know, she can tell stories when she's booked right. She can wrestle. Again, especially her matches with Bianca Belair recently were really good matches. And I definitely thought, she definitely, should have a more serious singles run. Instead of being just, the associate having, just random matches here and there. Problem is, though, I do agree with Mark. Wrestling-wise, she's not ready yet. Like, they needed to build her up more of an in-ring character rather than as a business associate for me to want to see her fight for the championship. This is like when Lana first started wrestling and she feuded with Naomi back in 2017. Like, Lana was not... I mean, yes, was there anybody else for Naomi to fight for that show? No. Lana, though, was not ready at all to be like a serious contender for the title. So, I mean, I get it. They were probably trying to go with the fact that maybe she'll shock the world and put on a good performance. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I think Zelina Vega will put on a better performance than what Lana did at first. Because, trust me, look at her. She was freaking hitting hurricanranas on, like, Johnny Gargano, Drew McIntyre in NXT, and even Aleister Black, her own husband. But yeah, I don't think Zelina's ready yet to be just like, break her up from these guys and boom, put her right into the title picture. Like, she needs to show us a little bit more in the ring. And not just having just like an occasional match. Like, she needs to show more to get this title opportunity, I feel. Because again, I know Zelina Vega can tell a story beautifully. Like, again, not just because she's hot, but again, like, I look back at the feud that made Almas and Vega as successful as they were, and as their feud with Johnny Gargano in NXT. Beautifully written story. Again, Almas was still directionless when he turned heel. Again, I definitely prefer Almas as a heel. I don't think he's a babyface at all whatsoever. But what really got the fire going for them was that feud with Gargano. We know Zelina Vega can tell a story. And giving her more time in the ring, I think she definitely can wrestle. But like I said, we need to season her out more inside the ring before she's getting this title opportunity. So I don't agree that she should be getting this title opportunity yet. But telling a story as starting to focus on herself more, yes. But like I said, not immediately for the next pay-per-view. I don't think that needs to happen. So, yeah. So that's my thoughts on that. We have this interesting promo, though, with Keith Lee. So Charlie Caruso interviews him. He says people work their entire careers for the kind of opportunity he has tonight. He's been honest in his dealings, and he gets it. The goal is to be champion, but he knows that Drew McIntyre will do whatever it takes to remain champion. And he'll do whatever he must do to become WWE champion. which I do like how, again, I loved how they did this. Spitting in the truth and having Keith Lee be 100% brutally honest. Charlie asks Keith about Drew's broken jaw. And Keith says that Drew's a friend and he doesn't want to take advantage of it. But he'll do whatever he must to get this opportunity. So that's like, is he gonna break the jaw or what? It was like kind of like a like an interesting turn of events here again, showing that yes, they're friends, they have a good bond, but he, when it comes to business, he does what it has to do. And the question becomes, of course, would Keith Lee literally target the broken jaw of Drew McIntyre, or would he show some mercy on his friend and not try to break his jaw off, or what's he gonna do? So I do like that suspense and that little tickler right there, thinking like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Are we gonna see Drew McIntyre get a broken jaw, or is Keith Lee gonna let up and take it easy? But of course, as we saw later on, Lee was completely serious about this opportunity. Before we move on to the next part, let's check the live chat and see what we got here in the live chat. Tyler's not feeling Clash of Champions. Understandable. Mark thought the NXT Women's Title match sucked. He can't wait for Dabba-Kato versus Braun Strowman, which we're going to tease for Raw Underground. And why is Lana still here? That's what I wonder, because Miro, her husband, is, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, man. I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, man. Is Kip Sabian's best man. He's the best man of AEW. And I can't wait to see what he does tomorrow night on Dynamite for sure. WWE is running out of heels. Out of heels? No. WWE has a ton of heels. They have no baby faces right now. That's the thing. They have so many freaking heels, or people that I'm not sure if they're a face or a heel, like Braun Strowman, or Bray Wyatt, or Alexa Bliss, and a few others. But yeah, the dynamics are super off these days. But I especially feel like they need more baby faces than heels right now, in my opinion. Anyways, back to the review. Kevin Owens, someone who I think needs to go back to NXT at this point, was interviewed backstage. He doesn't know why Aleister has had it out for him, and he offers a number of mocking suggestions saying he doesn't care. He only cares about how he's going to inflict pain tonight to walk away from the ring, feeling like they're even, and he runs back to his hiding spot, and because he says, of course, how Aleister Black for a year and a half would sit in a dark room and beg for someone to come knocking at his door to pick a fight with me. He's going to make sure that the beating reminds him of every day of what happens when you pick a fight, when you pick a fight with me, with Kevin Owens. As he walks away, Aleister Black walks along and just stares off at Owens with his bandana over his bad eye. So I don't know why he's still wearing that when he's still revealing it whenever he has his matches. So we have Shane McMahon talking to the doorman for Raw Underground when Braun Strowman rolls up. Yeah, you're on SmackDown, right, Braun? I thought that it was just Cesaro Nakamura being brought over in the brand invitation. So Braun Strowman crashes Raw Underground. We'll get into that. We then get a video package of what's going on with the Mysterio and Rollins feud, as we're getting ready for a steel cage match between Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio. Before that, though, first we have Rollins and Murphy in a room backstage. Rollins says he's been waiting to see Murphy all night, but he then sputters about last week. But Seth says he understands atonement and forgiveness are part of the process, but that's in the past, and now they have to look to the future. Tonight, he's going to be locked inside a steel cage with Dominic Mysterio. And it's a perfect opportunity to teach the young man and the world a lesson. He asks Murphy, "Are you prepared for your role tonight? You need him to be ready." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready, don't worry, boss." But then, BAM! Slaps him across the face and pushes Murphy into the lockers before telling him his role is to stay back here so he doesn't have to deal with any of his stupid mistakes again. You understand? We have, of course, then, okay, so let's talk about this real quick here. So we have an advertisement. It was announced on Talking Smack this past Saturday that out of the blue, Mandy Rose, sweet and sexy Mandy Rose, Otis's girlfriend, has been traded to Raw. Why? I don't know. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it either. Because one, what's happening to Otis now? Are they completely dropping the love story with Otis and Mandy? Or what's going on now? And also, I felt Mandy should stay on SmackDown. I think, well, Mandy Rose right now would be a good babyface for Bayley to feud with for the SmackDown Women's Championship. You could have had her face Bayley at Clash of Champions. Still in time for Sasha, who, spoiler alert, she's returning to SmackDown on Friday. Who I feel like, Mandy Rose could have been, since of course she just won her feud with Sonya Deville, could have been a good contender for the title right now. Probably wouldn't have won it, but still would have worked out to me. But also, I felt, due to the dynamics, Sonya should have gone to Raw when she returns. Who knows when she's going to return. And, again, I still say put Sonya on Raw and have her be the one to dethrone Asuka. Because, of course, even though, of course, Mandy Rose got her comeuppance, I still think Sonya was the bigger winner out of that feud. So, I don't think I'm behind Mandy going back over to Raw. So, we'll see what it does. I don't know. Again, I think she could stay on SmackDown. I think it's unnecessary for her to go to Raw, because again, especially how off these dynamics are. Who the hell knows? So, who knows who they sent over to SmackDown in her place? Because I have no clue anymore. So, we have that. We have the Mysterio family being interviewed backstage. Dominic says he wants to follow his dreams and follow in his dad's footsteps. He can't back down from any challenges. Ray says how Dominic impressed him at SummerSlam, and they're going to be out there to support him during the cage match. So we have Dominic and Seth in the cage, which is a good match. Of course, during the match, Buddy Murphy randomly showed up and starts handing Rollins weapons from outside. And I'm like, why isn't Rollins immediately getting pissed off at him? Because I thought that he told Murphy to stay in the back. So I don't know why Murphy came out as soon as he did, but Murphy did stop Dominic from escaping the cage. But then, of course, Ray and Murphy got into a brawl. And when the cage door smacked Murphy in the face, Murphy turned around to slam it, thinking he was just shutting the door to avoid Dominic getting out. But instead, Rollins got hit in the face. So I'm like, there he goes again. And I thought that was going to cost Rollins. But, again, Seth won clean over Dominic. After the match, he goes outside the cage, and he basically, praising Murphy, but then he beats down on Murphy with the cage, and basically he disowns him as a disciple. So I'm guessing we're getting a Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy feud after Clash of Champions for Hell in a Cell, which could be a good way to put over Buddy Murphy, because again, I heard about a month or two ago, there's rumors that Seth Rollins is going to be taking some time off in the fall when it gets closer to Becky giving birth to their child. So that could be a good way to, write off Rollins, having him and Murphy have a feud for Hell in a Cell. So that could be a case. As far as the match, though, good match. Here's my problem, though, I'm starting to have, though. One, I still felt that what the Mysterio family did to Murphy, to Buddy Murphy last week on Raw, they should have done that to Seth Rollins. That's what I truly felt should have gotten the vicious beating with Seth Rollins. The other thing is, This is the third match now that Rollins and Mysterio have had. All three of them, Dominic has lost. And I know, at the beginning of this whole thing, whenever they started teasing Dominic and Seth for SummerSlam, I was saying that's too big of a name for for Dominic Mysterio to be having his first match with and going over with. Okay, I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to see Dominic get like that big of a win right away and rocket ship him to the main event scene again. I don't think he was ready for that yet. But if you're going to do multiple matches and just have multiple matches like this, at least give Dominic the win for one of them. Some way to still protect Rollins, but the fact that he's just lost clean him 3 times, I'm just like, okay, like, why are we still doing these matches if the same result's going to happen? Like, okay, I don't want, Dominic to win and get a shot at the world title, but at some point he needs to give Seth his comeuppance. Yes, they gave Murphy his. Rollins needs his at some point. So, when that's going to happen? I don't know. But now that we've had another match where Rollins won yet again, I feel like it's time to just move on with this. Because, again, why are we going to continue to do this with Dominic coming up short and just feeling like the same thing over and over again, Just my opinion. So, that happened, and then we have the beatdown. And then we have Raw Underground, where Braun Strowman basically took out everyone, including Ziggler, Riddick Moss, Titus O'Neil, and ends it, later in the show, ends it with him having a stare down with Baba Tunde, or whatever his name is, teasing that match for next week. Whatever. I don't know. It just was what it was. Raw Underground this week, I thought. But then, of course, going back here, we have this segment with McIntyre talking about Keith Lee. And he was asked about interfering in Lee's matches recently, which is how all of his matches, except for the match he beat Randy Orton clean with at Backlash, all the other matches McIntyre has interfered in. So, Keith rolls up, and he says, "Sounds like you think Randy Orton would have won. But the only match that Drew didn't interfere in was the one where he beat Orton." Which I'm just like, ooh, there's truth there, which I do like. So he's concerned that Lee might beat McIntyre, and again at Clash of Champions. And then Drew goes to introduce himself, fictitiously, and says, "Wake up, I'm not afraid." Lee points out the target on his jaw, and McIntyre swats his hand away. And then Lee goes again, puts his hand out. McIntyre swats it away again. And basically, he's just like, "I'm not going to tell you again, Keith." Showing that Keith, again, is dead serious. And he says, "Yes, we're friends, but when it comes to business, I'm not playing games here." So he says, "Don't do it again." Lee puts it out a third time. And then McIntyre punches Lee in the jaw. And then we break out and get a full-out brawl. Which they continue the brawl. Still later on in the match, when Adam Pearce broke them up, threatened to cancel their match tonight and the WWE title match at Clash of Champions, which was officially announced that if it is Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, it will be in an ambulance match. But again, would it still be an ambulance match if it was Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre? Or, again, what if McIntyre wins and, Lee wins and Orton's able to wrestle? What's going to happen? We'll get to that, of course, in the main event. Aleister Black and Kevin Owens had a decent match again. I know they can do better than this, but it was just a typical Raw match. The lights flicker. Owens hits a stunner that Black kind of sold it kind of weakly. It looked like he just took it in place. It was and it falls over. I thought that was a little bit weak, but Owens won. I guess. Who knows? We have that. Then we have the Riot Squad taking on the team of Natalya, the Boat, hate that, and Lana. Riot Squad pretty much squashed them. Which cracked me up because I'm thinking, at some point this is probably going to be a women's tag title match. I'm just saying, it's going to happen because without the lack of depth, who else is the Riot Squad going to face once they win the women's tag titles? And of course, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax were on commentary. Oh, instantly please just mute that microphone on Nia Jax because we all know how terrible microphone skills she has. And then afterwards, basically Baszler and Jax just attack Natalya and Lana in front of the Riot Squad. And of course it ends with Nia doing a Samoan drop on Lana through the microphone, through the table. Whatever. Anyways, we have our main event then. Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee. A good match. But how did it end? No contest, because Retribution interfered. And it was more than just 5 members from before. So my question is, what is the true number of people in Retribution? How many people are really having in this stable? Literally, it does not make any sense. Stick with just few core people, and that's it. You don't have to have 5 one week, 20 the next, 13 the next, 50 the next. It makes no sense. But this one, at least, they had Retribution get a little bit of competition. The Hurt Business came out, and they started laying waste to Retribution. And then the show ended with Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre both doing raspberry flops over the top rope to take out everyone else on the floor, and they just immediately cut the show off. So does that mean that we're getting Keith Lee and what's the verdict here? Is Keith Lee getting an opportunity at Clash of Champions? Are they making a triple threat match if Orton's able to wrestle? Is he not? And if it's not, then what was the point of having this match? That's my thing. Again, they're putting Keith Lee up against guys like Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre already. When it's okay, you're not giving him more room to win. And all of his other matches, they're just no contest or just ending in disqualification because, again, they're protecting him. But same time, unlikely you gotta do something else to at least give him wins, make him credible. If they're going to keep just feeding him to these bigger guys and making him just no contest, it's no different to me than just having him lose the match. It's not really doing anything for him. So where do they go with this? I don't know. But it was still a good match with Lee and McIntyre. That's how the show went off the air. Give my final grade before I check the live chat, and I have a special announcement to make as well. 4 votes for what grade would you give Raw? 25% said A, 50% said B, 25% said C, nobody said D or lower. Despite some of the odd finishes, I just thought that was a pretty solid show. It had some attention-grabbing moments for me. So I give this show a B-. B-, that's what I'm going to give it. Check the live chat. Survivor Series needs to stop being brand warfare. I completely agree with that. Elite Squad, what's up? Hurt Business, coming out at the end of the show to face Retribution 4 versus 10. They made them badass. Definitely. I felt who should stay on SmackDown last year are AJ and Charlotte. There's no point for Orton feuding with Drew again, and get rid of the women's tag titles for sure. So sorry guys, I'm starting to get a little bit sleepy right here. It's only Tuesday, but so my special announcement. What am I gonna do? Well, usually around this time of the year, I'm always hyping it up, but this year because of the pandemic. I had a death in my family earlier this year and whatnot, and I haven't really been able, of course, see many of my friends because of the pandemic. So, next Tuesday is my birthday, which, again, I usually am hyping up and excited about like crazy, but this year I'm just not feeling it right now because I'm getting old, or who knows. So, usually for my birthday, I do at least one video game Let's Play, like an old game I used to enjoy that I don't play. Like, it's not meant for like long-term walkthrough. This year, depending on how busy I am, I may do 2. Because I didn't get to do one last year because my channel was not around. But also, for wrestling fans, of course, I'm throwing some stuff together. I'm not going to tell you what the list is. I am strongly pushing for this coming Saturday to do a top 10 special. First one I have done in a long time. And again, the reasons why, one, again, I'm just a lot more busier these days, guys. I can't be doing top 10 specials during the week. I just don't have the energy during the week. I am getting tired at random points throughout the day. You know, I get up at 7 o'clock every day during the week to go to work. So, obviously, I don't have the late night energy I used to have anymore. And the other thing is, again, I keep saying, since I got OBS and I have a video degree, I want to make more graphics and put my creative abilities into these special live streams as well. Which is why, again, it takes me time to prepare them. So, let's see how Saturday goes. Again, if I do special live streams, it's going to have to be on the weekend. Because that's when I'm going to have my most energy. I'm going to be able to, talk about more things and not just like half-ass it. So if I'm able to get this to work on Saturday, I may start bringing back top 10 streams. Start off with maybe like once a month. Once a month doing top 10 streams. Because again, I do miss doing them. I did enjoy doing those. Just coming up here, hanging out, talking about wrestling, talking about my best, my worst, and all that stuff. So again, to basically bring some energy back, celebrate my birthday, besides my special video game Let's Plays I usually do for my birthday, I'm going to try to do a top 10 stream this coming Saturday. And for those of you who are asking how old I'm going to be, I'll just say too old. Just kidding. I'll be 27. Which, I can't believe I'm that old. I'm going to be that old for crying out loud. But like I said again, I definitely need some type of, I need some type of, excitement for sure for my birthday. Because right now, I just don't have that excitement for it right now because of everything else that's been going on. So, again, I have, of course, still stuff from my weddings to finish editing this week. But on top of that, I'm still going to try to throw together a list and the graphics I want to use for this top 10 special. And if I do it this weekend, which I'm strongly pushing to, it'll be Saturday night. Saturday night, maybe like 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, one at a time. So we'll see. But like I said, if I do start doing them again, they'll be once a month and have to be on Saturdays. Because again, I just don't have the energy during the week anymore. Because I literally have to get up at 7 o'clock every morning to go to work. And I am tired at random times during the day. So that's my special announcement. I am going to be attempting to do a top 10. I will, of course, put stuff down. I'll, of course, make the announcement, of course, on Twitter, in the community tab here on YouTube. And, yeah, as far as the topic goes, I'll just wait till Saturday to give that out. So, yeah, guys, stay tuned for that to come on Saturday. I'm going to try to do AEW tomorrow night. I'm more excited about that than NXT, especially with Miro now being AEW. NXT probably on Thursday, Friday SmackDown, Saturday. I will hopefully be doing my top 10 special. And, yeah. So, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Raw. Again, I gave Raw a B-. What are your thoughts on Raw this week, guys? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe or comment on my channel. And you may follow me on Twitter as well, at TheManAirBoy93. So, guys, I'm going to take a shower, relax for a little bit, go to bed. So, until then, guys, I am the Club of the Man 93. I'll catch you all later. Have a good rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.